Spring is finally here. Stay tuned and I'll show you some wines to enjoy the season. Welcome to this week's episode. It's finally spring. We've been so looking forward to it, and maybe you have too, unless you live in Arizona or California. Well, we have a great lineup this week. I wanted to look at wines that were light and refreshing and sort of embrace that spring spirit where you want to get outside, not a lot of fuss because you're probably very busy in your yard or in your garden and you're doing your spring cleaning and you just want something you can enjoy, especially outdoors. So I wanted to find some wines that sort of epitomize spring, weren't too expensive, and easy to find. So I have 3 wines for you for this week's episode. And then I have a 4th wine for you if you stay till the end. And then again, it epitomizes not only spring, but also fall. And you're going to find that, these wines go well in spring and also fall. At least they do for us. Stay tuned. So let's take a look at our first wine. And I thought, a Sauvignon Blanc is a great wine to have really all year round, but really nice to have in the spring and the summer months. So I thought I'd find a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc to share with you. It has that sort of herby, very citrus notes, but if you've ever had a kiwi, it has a little bit of that kiwi notes to it, and it has quite a bit of acidity, but I think if you want to be in spring and you're having asparagus and lots of salads and maybe some grilled chicken or shrimp, this really pairs well with that sort of lighter food. We've kind of come out of the winter months of stews and braises and roasts. This is a nice sort of like welcome spring wine for you to have. The Starborough from New Zealand, not too expensive. You could almost always find this at your grocery stores, and it's on sale for the most part around $10, maybe $15. I think it's a wonderful find. Open it up, just drink it on its own or with the foods I was just telling you about, and I'll put that in our description area. So a wonderful wine in which to welcome spring. And if you haven't had the New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, I think this is a wonderful one. Or I will put some links below on some wines from France, where the Sauvignon Blanc in the Loire Valley is one of the king wines in that area. Delicious wines, and you probably heard me talk about how wonderful the Loire Sauvignon Blancs are. But the ones from New Zealand are delicious too. So be on the lookout for a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc from Starborough. I think you're going to really enjoy it this spring. So our second wine in this week's lineup is just a find. It's a beautiful wine. I think I discovered it maybe about a year and a half ago, and I can't tell you how delicious this is. So if you get a chance, look for the Pine Ridge. It's a Chenin Blanc and Viognier, two of my favorite grapes, and they put them in one delicious bottle. It's wonderful. So I truly love the Chenin Blancs from the Loire Valley. If you get a chance to see some of my episodes, I'll put the links below on how wonderful the Vouvrays are. And I've been a fan of Viognier for a very long time. And so the Viognier is a grape that's very world famous in southern France and the Provence and the Côte de Rhône area and the whole Rhône Valley for making these beautiful perfume white wines where they just smell like they crushed a bunch of these beautiful white flowers and beautiful citrus and tropical fruits all together. And it's just a delicious wine. This wine is just absolutely gem. Well under $15. I could usually find it around $10 at Trader Joe's. This is a wine that you can open and enjoy on its own. It's great with shrimp. It's great with chicken, lots of vegetarian dishes. maybe even some goat cheese if you prefer. It's just a delight. I'd love for you to try to find this wine if you can, and give it a try. Let me know what you think. I think it's great all year long, but again, we're looking at wines that we think are particularly nice for spring, and this wine really fits the bill. It's just a delight. And so let me know what you think about the Pine Ridge, Chenin Blanc, and Viognier. Wow, what a great find. Let's take a look at our third wine. Well, I had to throw a red wine in, of course. So let's look at the Oyster Bay. It's a Pinot Noir from New Zealand. So we actually have 2 New Zealand wines in this week's episode. That's not too surprising. You know how spring can be, at least it is where we are, where it's sort of cool one day and then it's kind of warm the next, and then it's somewhere in between the next day. So it sort of fluctuates, and it's that in-between season, very much like fall. So we know summer's around the corner and it's going to be warm, but it's not quite there yet, and it's not cold. So these wines, I think, sort of bridge that gap between winter and, of course, summer right in there in spring. Well, it's nice to have a red wine, and I've been drinking some very heavy red wines all winter long, and I'm okay with that. So, but I do crave something that's still red, but it's a little lighter. So if you are looking for a red wine and you don't want it to be too heavy or too tannic, because maybe you don't like that style, or you're like me and you do like that style, but you still want something to be a little bit different, I think this is a wonderful alternative. The Pinot Noir is a delicious grape, really, wherever it's grown. And New Zealand does a great job of it too, as they do in France, of course, and in California and Oregon. This one is light in body, maybe light to medium body, but it reminds me of fresh cherries, fresh cranberries, has some nice acidity to it. It's not really too complex. It's just open it up, have it with some grilled lamb, maybe even some very light beef dishes. I usually almost always serve it when I do grilled salmon, or even if it's raining, I'll do broiled salmon, and I like it with my broiled salmon too. So some nice flexibility. I think it's a wonderful find, quite affordable, and the New Zealand Pinot Noirs are really stunning. If you get them a chance, give them a try. Like the Sauvignon Blancs, they have really shined when it comes to the Pinot Noir grape. So look for the Oyster Bay at your local grocery store, Trader Joe's. I've seen it at Trader Joe's. I believe Costco also carries it. Fairly easy to find, and a delight. And let me know what you think about the Oyster Bay from New Zealand Pinot Noir. Well, I promised you I would share a fourth wine that is delicious at springtime and also in the fall, and that is a German Riesling. And this one is from the Mosel Valley. I would really like you to try to find a Riesling from the Mosel Valley. It doesn't have to be this one, which is my carp, and it has a really great label of a carp on it. It's just a Riesling Cabernet. You won't be able to find this at your grocery store. So this is a sort of a Whole Foods or a fine wine retailer adventure for you, which I think is going to be nice, especially if you say you've tried some of the Moscatos and you tend to like wines on the sweeter side, but you're ready to try something with maybe a little bit more acidity, or you want to try something different, not quite ready for a Sauvignon Blanc. I think a Riesling is a nice step for you to sort of try something different, but it still has some sweetness to it, but it's a stone fruit, honeydew, honeysuckle type fruitness to it that is nice. And some people don't like German Rieslings, which is unfortunate because they're just such wonderful wines. Because it says that they say it has sort of gasoline or petroleum notes to it. Well, it's actually one of the telltale signs it's a German Riesling when it has that. But it sort of dissipates, and you can smell it. It doesn't taste like that at all, and it's just delicious with food. What a wonderful pairing for grilled shrimp and crab cakes and chicken and some pork dishes. The Riesling is a wine that I would just so like you to try if you haven't tried one, and especially from Germany, really the home of Rieslings. So ask your fine wine retailer, you want to try Riesling, you want to try it from Germany, you'd like something from the Mosel Valley, and this one's right around the $15 mark. I tried this at my local wine retailer, and they were having a German wine tasting, and I fell in love with it. And the wine maker was there, and he was a great guy. So I think it kind of makes me like this wine a little bit more. So if you can't find this one, don't worry about it. Let them know your price area around $15, Mosel, German Riesling, and you'd like it to be on the drier side, and he or she will take care of you. What a great find. And let me know what you think. Well, thank you very much for joining us for our spring episode where we looked at 4 wines that are great for spring. And you know what? They also work for fall. But since we're so excited about spring, let's just think about spring for now. And please let your friends and family and coworkers know about our channel. I sure would appreciate it. Keep sending your comments and questions, and let me know what you thought about these wines. And then we can share all this great knowledge together as we discover the world of wine. Cheers, everyone.